Caught on camera, we have new security video of a bar fight involving a Missouri senator's chief of staff.
The Department of Revenue will soon have a new leader after a sudden resignation.
And Columbia students protested today in a call to action for climate change. This is KOMU 8 News at 6 o'clock.
Coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News starts now.
New surveillance video shows what led up to a fight last week at a Jefferson City bar. Now prosecutors have charged the chief of staff of a Missouri state senator. Police say the staffer's handgun fell to the floor during a fight. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jordan Berger.
And I'm Monica Harkins. Thanks for joining us. Take a look at this video. Police say the staffer, 45-year-old Jared Brown, and another man were arguing about money. You can see in the video here, Brown stands up from his chair and eventually makes a finger pistol. The man then shoves Brown. The two eventually wrestle to the ground. And if you look at the feet of the people fighting, you can see what appears to be the gun. According to the police report, an off-duty police chief saw the handgun on the ground. Police say the gun was loaded. The chief told officers the gun belonged to Brown.
Prosecutors charged Jared Brown with unlawful use of a weapon and peace disturbance. Both are misdemeanors. Police say Brown was intoxicated at the time of the fight. Jared Brown is the chief of staff to Republican Senator Justin Brown from Rolla. No relation there. Justin Brown says Jared Brown is taking a leave of absence. He is scheduled to appear in court on April 19th.
There's a new man in charge of your tax money. Governor Parson announced Ken Zellers will be acting director of the Department of Revenue after Joel Walters resigns. KOMU's Jared Austin tells us what both Republicans and Democrats feel about the change.
Both House Democrats and Republicans feel this is a step in the right direction. While Republicans say more work needs to be done, Democratic Representative Kip Kendrick says it's not solely about moving forward, it's about the department being more transparent.
A day after the word got out about Joe Walters' resignation, Governor Parson pegged Ken Zellers to take over at the department for now. Parson put out a statement saying, "I appreciate Joe Walters' willingness to devote 2 years of service to the state of Missouri. His leadership and transformative vision helped to turn around the Department of Revenue." But Democratic House member Kip Kendrick says it's more than that.
Showing that the department purposely shelved a press release from September that would have warned taxpayers about the surprise tax bills.
Walters said in his hearings he warned people on the department's Facebook and Twitter page. People on the special committee called it a lack of communication.
And the social media campaign is a farce.
Just over 3,000 people are connected with the Missouri Department of Revenue on Facebook and Twitter, but 3.6 million people filed a tax return claim in 2018. Now I'm going to put that in perspective for you here in the rotunda at the state capitol, as there are 144 seats here, but that would be like just me knowing and me calling somebody else about the issue.
Republican Speaker Elijah Haar says the department has much more work to do to regain the trust of the public, and even gaining the trust of lawmakers.
Well, first off, the Department of Revenue needs to be transparent and honest with the public as well as lawmakers.
One thing both Democrats and Republicans agree on, the department's transparency will be the biggest ask of Zellers.
Zellers will officially take over as acting director next Friday. In the studio, Jared Austin, KOMU 8 News.
Thanks, Jared. Here's what's happening right now. The Miller County Sheriff's Office has just announced a second arrest in the apparent murder of Tyler Worthington. Tyler Kroll of Lisle, Illinois, was taken into custody March 7th. Within the last hour, we learned prosecutors charged him with first-degree murder. He's being held at the Miller County Detention Center on $7,500,000 bail. Authorities found Worthington shot to death in Miller County last June.
Governor Mike Parson met this morning with his emergency management team to review and update flood response plans. Missouri River levels are expected to rise dramatically this weekend, with a 1.5-foot rise expected by tomorrow in some areas. MoDOT is working with Nebraska, Kansas, and Iowa to prepare detour plans. Missouri State Highway Patrol is preparing additional equipment, and swift water rescue personnel are on standby. National Weather Service meteorologist is also embedded at the State Emergency Operations Center.
Well, as we look out the door right now, we still are seeing those windy conditions that we saw yesterday and throughout much of today as well. really throughout a lot of the eastern half of the United States. But if you look off to our west, out towards Dodge City, the winds are starting to slow down. And just to the south of Dodge City, there's a circulation there that is rotating clockwise. What that signals is high pressure. Now this high pressure is really going to play a role in our weather over the next couple of days. We're expecting it to slide over towards mid-Missouri by tomorrow, creating abundant sunshine for tomorrow and Sunday as well. For Monday and Tuesday, just a little bit less sunshine, but I'll have your weekend forecast coming up.
Students around the country are protesting today in a call to action for climate change. KOMU 8's McKenna Alexander was at the rally in Columbia this afternoon and is in the studio to tell us more on the different opinions she heard.
Well, it sure was loud today, with drums, chanting, cheering, and even some yelling. Some onlookers of the strike were upset with how it was organized. High school and college students marched through campus today every hour from 8 in the morning until noon, demanding action for climate change.
We need to take climate change into our own hands because the corporations are doing it for us, and this is what's happening to the world.
The national event says it aims to disrupt social order by skipping school in an attempt to force legislators to acknowledge its demands.
The future of our children is at stake. It's not even creating a better future at this point, it's creating a future in general.
The marches ended with an organized rally filled with shouts of passion and frustration as the call to action continued. But some onlookers felt the strike was swayed too politically, bringing tension to the rally.
Sit down and you speak with these Republican leaders, you speak with these Republican voters. They care about climate change, they care about environmental issues. They just don't know how to articulate it because movements like this are too much focused on anti-capitalism, anti-America.
Participants of the rally, however, feel that the issue of climate change goes deeper than environmental issues, citing an inequality when it comes to managing who is affected by it.
Rich people can. The white rich males, they can provide for themselves.
Because we're not working party lines. It's too partisan here, and I don't like that.
Those involved in the march today included members from Rockbridge Young Democrats, Mizzou Energy Action Coalition, and the Mizzou Democrats. In the studio, McKenna Alexander, KOMU 8 News.
McKenna, thank you so much. Mid-Missouri's I-70 task force just wrapped its first meeting to discuss options for the Missouri River Bridge. KOMU 8's Elena Chappie is live from the Columbia Chamber of Commerce with more. Elena?
The 59-year-old Missouri River Bridge at Roachport either needs to be replaced or fixed, and that's what the task force is currently looking at. But they say the repairs could take up to 6 to 8 hours for traffic delays, according to the I-70 task force, which met today to find a better solution. Task force members agreed the bridge needs to be replaced, but that could cost $230 million. And in order to get that money, Governor Parson's bond proposal will need to go through. If it doesn't, MoDOT will continue with the repair option. This is the last time the bridge can be fixed. The task force says it may only last 6 to 10 years, and then it will still need to be replaced.
We can repair the bridge that we have, and in the city of Columbia have a potential $80 million impact when it comes to our economy and our tourism economy, an environmental impact and a healthcare impact when it comes to trauma patients not getting to MU healthcare.
They plan on meeting on a regular basis, and they've already begun talking to legislators about how vital it is to pass the bond proposal. Live in Columbia, Elena Chappie, KOMU 8 News.
Columbia police increased security presence at the Islamic Center of Central Missouri today. Attendees voiced safety concerns to authorities following the shootings in New Zealand. Cars patrolled the area and stopped to check in all day. One Columbia police officer says the department's goal was to offer support to the Islamic community.
Our department's investing a little bit of manpower to be present here to bring comfort and to our neighbors that attend here.
Police confirmed they will not maintain the increased security after today.
Coming up, that car is not where it's supposed to be. We'll tell you what happened.
And a St. Louis woman channeled Mary Poppins this week.
And if you're looking forward to some sunshine tomorrow and for St. Patrick's Day, well, consider yourself lucky because it is on the way. Later on, I'll be breaking down your hour-by-hour weekend forecast.
Welcome back, everyone. A Missouri lawmaker wants residents between the ages of 18 and 35 to own an AR-15 type rifle. The bill filed by Republican Representative Andrew McDaniel from Deering would require people to own one by August of 2020. The McDaniel Militia Act specifies an AR-15 as, quote, any semi-automatic rifle that is modeled on the AR-15 rifle design. McDaniel's bill applies to people between 18 and 35 who are not banned from carrying. It has not yet been assigned to a committee.
A plane flipped over in Moberly today, and the pilot blames the wind. According to Moberly police, a single propeller plane was taking off from Omar Bradley Airport and had just left the ground when it flipped into a ditch. The pilot was taken to a hospital, but officials say he's doing okay. The runway is now open. The airport had closed it until the plane was towed.
A close call for a Kansas City man. He says his garage floor fell through, swallowing up his vintage 1983 Cadillac minutes after he parked it on Wednesday. It collapsed down into his basement. Thankfully, no one was hurt. He said he was inside eating dinner when he heard a loud bang.
Dare I say it was feeling a little springy outside today. 49 degrees was our high temperature. Our average for this time of year is 55 degrees, and we're going to be seeing even more seasonal temperatures in our upcoming forecast. Wednesday, the first official day of spring. I'll have a look at that day's forecast as well. Thanks for joining us here on KOMU 8 News at 6. Here's a live look out over your capital city right now. Beautiful blue skies is what we have seen all throughout the day, all throughout mid-Missouri. Just a couple of passing fair weather clouds, and those are going to be moving out even more so for tomorrow. Now, currently right now we're at 48 degrees, but if you'll take a look at those winds, still very much on the strong side at 17 miles per hour at the Columbia Regional Airport, with gusts at 22 right now. Now looking at these gusts across Missouri, Gusts are at 22 here in Columbia, even stronger up in Kirksville at 28. About an hour ago, those wind gusts here in Columbia were at 30 miles per hour. So the good news is that those winds are dying down. Those actual winds sustained out the door right now. Again, 17 in Columbia, 18 over in Kirksville, a little bit lighter in Kansas City at 14. And those will be slowing down, especially past the 9 o'clock hour. With your windcast here, we can see around midnight tonight, winds across mid-Missouri will be about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And as we fast forward into tomorrow morning, even lighter than that, very light and variable in nature. If you're headed out the door early, you might not even notice the winds. That is how light we are expecting them to be. Now out the door right now in terms of satellite and radar, still seeing plenty of sunny and clear skies, a couple of passing fair weather clouds, but those will be moving out. So breaking down your weekend here hour by hour, that low pressure system that I mentioned off towards Kansas is going to start to slide over here towards Missouri. A little bit of cloud cover by tomorrow morning, staying well up to our north, up towards the Iowa border. Now we do have a low pressure system that's going to start to sink into our area. With that, we're not expecting to see huge impacts. Just overnight Saturday into Sunday morning, seeing a little bit of that cloud cover. Most of that is going to be to the north of Interstate 70. Now we do have a cold front with this system, but that's really not going to mess with our temperatures too terribly much, only dropping them by a degree or two. As we head into the rest of Sunday day, seeing mostly sunny skies. Again, that cold front really not doing too terribly much. And then we have another high pressure system moving back into our area, creating for even more sunshine. Now, as we head into tonight, it is going to be a cooler one, especially if you head out the door early tomorrow morning. You will want to grab that heavier jacket, 28 degrees for that low. The good news is those winds really not quite as wicked as they were, only at 5 to 10 miles per hour, so our feels like temperature will be close to 28 degrees. For tomorrow, a very seasonal day at 52. Our average for this time of year is around that 55-degree mark. And again, expecting to see plenty of sunshine, so tomorrow will be a good day to be outside. Since we did have those windy days, if you need to pick up any tree branches or leaves that are downed in your yard, that will be the day to do it. Now, as far as your 8-day forecast goes, we do have St. Patrick's Day for Sunday. Luck of the Irish, it will be a sunny one, but no rain. We're not expecting to see any rainbows at 51 degrees. After that, we do warm up as we head into the upcoming week. Your first day of spring on Wednesday, we could see a rainy morning at 56 degrees. Now, your weather IQ question, true or false? You have a 50-50 shot. Spring is the shortest of the 4 seasons.
I don't know if it's technically true or not, but it certainly feels that way.
Yeah, I wish it was long, but it definitely feels pretty short. So I feel like maybe it's true?
I'll say false. That way one of us will be right.
Okay, well, it is false. And fun fact, actually, in the northern hemisphere, winter is the longest season. It's felt like it, right?
Yeah, it's definitely felt like it. That's for sure.
Not a fan myself.
Well, thanks, Megan.
Thank you so much. Well, wind can be a powerful thing, and a St. Louis woman found that out firsthand yesterday. Take a look at this. Jasmine Joseph and her manager at the Happy Spirit Adult Daycare rushed outside when they saw their canopy flapping around in the wind. The canopy started to fly away, and so did she. Her manager says it was a Mother Nature double punch. You had the high winds, and plus the ground was soft and wet from lots of rain. Well, the high school basketball season is starting to wind down.
But not for the Lady Jays. A spot in the state championship on the line. Who's got it? That's next in sports.
Now, from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports.
Good evening and welcome to Sports. Just 2 wins away, the Jefferson Lady Jays can almost taste their first ever state championship. Today, they were in Springfield over the Class 5 semifinal against Parkway Central out of Chesterfield. The Q, home to Missouri State basketball, hosting the action today. The district was okay with a few people missing school today, busing a lot of students down to the game. Closing seconds of the first half, point guard Caitlin Anderson directing traffic, hangs, hits the shot, and it's good. That made it a 26-13 lead for Jeff City at the break. Then, 2 minutes left in the third. Off the inbound, Brooke Hilton hits the 3 for Parkway. That cut Jeff City's lead to just 8 points, and the Lady Jays, they're trying to respond, and Micah Linthicum runners is no good, but her little sister, Sarah, cleans it up and gets the shot up there. Fans were certainly loving it, and they were loving the momentum throughout the whole game. Jeff City was trying to salt the whole game away, and look at the handles on Anderson. Nice crossover behind the back. She hits the shot too, drives in, and that would make the Lady Jays win it 43-29 to advance to the final tomorrow. Please check back with us tomorrow for that result. After the game, players talked about celebrating this one while staying focused on tomorrow.
We're almost there, but we still got a lot of work to do in this next game to come. So we're focused, we're ready to go, but we're going to enjoy this win tonight.
It feels great. We've been really preparing for this, and just our goal the whole season, and just doing it together with all the girls has been super fun and super special, and we're wanting to make something happen.
And on to the boys team. The Rockbridge Bruins are taking on the Lee's Summit North Broncos in the Class 5 semifinals tonight in Springfield. Seniors Isaiah Mosley and Jamonte Black combined for 20 first-half points. Those highlights are up at 10. And Battle High School's football coach is leaving for Hallsville. Justin Conyers has been the head coach for the past 6 seasons. He has brought the Spartans to 54 wins and a district championship each season. In other news, going to the college side, Columbia College released its volleyball coach, Melinda Rye Washington. In her 20-year career as the head coach, Rye Washington led the Cougars to 2 national titles. She is known as the coach with the most wins in program history. And that's all for sports.
All right, Michaela, thank you so much. Missouri residents are familiar with digging their cars out of snow.
But what about cattle? That's after the break.
Here's a look at what we're following for KOMU 8 News at 10 o'clock. How the flooding this weekend is affecting Mid-Missourians.
And what emergency officials are doing to prepare.
Megan.
Now, if you're headed out tomorrow morning, it's going to be a chilly one. Make sure to grab that jacket at 28 degrees. But the good news is by the afternoon hours, we do warm up to a pleasant 52. That's fairly seasonal for this time of year. Seeing plenty of sunshine all throughout the day and for St. Patrick's Day as well.
All right, well, certainly happy that winter weather's moving out. We got some warm weather coming in.
We do.
Just in time for St. Patrick's Day.
That's our time for now. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a good afternoon.